Hi, it's Sally-Shakti. I was just halfway through making a really awesome video and it got cut off, so that's a little bit annoying. Tech does my head in a lot of the time. So let me summarize and start again. Yeah, I've just been walking through the grounds at Osho Lila, and I'm here at the oak tree now. And I've been reflecting on my rhythms and routines and how much I need to move my body physically, energetically, creatively, and sexually. Those are the things that I'm really focused on at the moment, where my energy goes and where my energy habitually has been. I'm someone who has spent the majority of my life with the majority of my energy cycling around my head. I think things through. I try to think my way out of problems. Didn't really realise that was actually the thinking was always creating more problems. And that the thinking mind really likes to perpetuate itself and its own usefulness. Also likes to keep us safe, which I hear a lot from one of the podcasts I listen to with Lindsay Mack on Rewilding the Tarot. Thinking mind does like to keep us safe. It's very necessary. It's also my top attribute for the thinking mind actually now is discernment. Although I know that also my body creates discernment for me as well. But the thinking mind is great for discernment and analysis. It's not really meant to be lived in all the time, is my current understanding of things. And yet our Western culture encourages and praises that and sets that up as a success criteria, which I think is an encouragement to actually, not really be in our bodies and not really feel and relate. So my own experience is that the majority of my life I've spent most of my time and most of my energy has been in my head thinking, and that's been a very successful and safe place for me to be. It's also prevented me from really relating and feeling and connecting with other people. And partly that has been a safety strategy for me, to prevent me from feeling hurt and from feeling pain. It's hard to ground my energy down into my body. My energy wants to leave my body and go up into my head where it feels safe. But that's also really for me a way that, well, it's also a way that my energy gets drained a lot, and I think that's a big part of the exhaustion and the chronic fatigue that I've also experienced for the majority of my adult life, if not longer. So I'm here back at Osho Lila. I've been back here just over a week now and beginning to re-establish my rhythms and routines. I need to move my body 3 to 5 times a day, and I had no idea about that. As someone who's always been in schools and academia and very much stuck in my head, I had no idea how much energy I have, because actually the more I've been stuck in my head, the less energy I have had. Partly because my experience is now that when my energy goes up into my head, it's actually draining out of my body, and there's less energy available for my body. And also that has to do with me giving that energy away and projecting it outwards, which means that my body hasn't had the capacity to store and retain its own energy. Now that I'm here at Lila and I do move my body three to 5 times a day, sometimes for up to 5 hours a day, that's on an intense kind of weekend workshop. But in general, maybe like 1 to 3 hours a day, I'm physically moving my body. I have so much more energy available to me, and I'm beginning to build and create so much more energetic capacity within my body to hold the energy that I create and that I have access to. This is new for me as a writer, as someone who's spent so much time in my head, but it's absolutely essential. And I'm learning about myself that I need to ground my energy and move my energy 3 to 5 times a day through movement, physical connection, creativity, and sexuality. And that's absolutely essential for me. And I want to share that as a writer who had no idea. But that's something that I'm coming into more and more now, and something that I and beginning to want to share more and more with other writers as well. How much energetic capacity I have now that I am bringing my energy back down into my body and learning how to hold and retain that energy gives me more creative energy to work with, and more creative energy to focus on a project, or on a on a creative project. I have more energy available to me to focus in a creative direction when I want to focus it in that way. And I have more capacity for inspiration and opportunities to feel creative and to collaborate with others. I feel like I'm rushing a little bit because I just got to a certain stage in the last video I was making, and it shut off. So I kind of want to finish this before it shuts down again. So maybe that's as much as I'll say for now, and I'll keep speaking more about this. But really, that's essential for me as what it means to be writing and thriving. It's about being in my body so that I have this extra energy and this increased capacity for energy, which I can then choose to use in a creative focus, or for connecting with others and relating emotionally, physically, sexually. I feel so much more grounded in myself, and that's something that I really would love to share with others, especially if you are somebody who is a writer and has typically habitually spent a lot of time in your head, in your thinking mind. And that's something that our Western culture has really conditioned us to, and created success criteria around. It's a safe space to be in, but ultimately for me, I found it draining, and I wasn't really able to bring myself to fruition in the ways that I am doing now, that I feel more grounded and I'm moving my body and moving my energy. So this is something I really want to share as my reflection for today. And I'm going to stop the video now, and I'm going to continue my walk. Sending you lots of love.